The most recent piece of research is in terms of looking at the overall accounting and audit of service charge accounts. So we looked at the basis of the reconciliation certificate, whether they were prepared on an accruals basis or a cash basis. We were looking at the nature of the information that was actually disclosed, whether there was an end of period balance sheet in terms of a listing of assets and liabilities on the service charge account, and we also investigated the wording attached to if the reconciliation certificate was actually audited or independently reviewed, what was the nature of the insurance given, and what was being checked as part of that review. I think in terms of improvements, I think one thing that is important is to actually benchmark performance over a period of time to get a trend of performance. And if you were to look at the score report data between the first report that's been issued to the latest report, both in the office sector and the retail sector, there has been some improvement in certain areas regarding accounting. But what I would say is it would depend on who the preparer was, the landlord or the managing agent. So whilst there are pockets of improvements, I wouldn't say it was consistent across the whole industry. I think in terms of service charge management, it has, in terms of how to improve it, is very similar to improving accounting standards in any area, irrespective of whether it's commercial service charges or not. The key thing is to provide the users with relevant information, consistent information, and information that's understandable. And there is a lack of consistent information within the service charge industry, and there's a lack of understandable information. So a lot of information is very difficult to commercial tenants to make sense of it. So there needs to be more guidance for preparers of reconciliation certificates in terms of, if you want to prepare a truly transparent service charge certificate, these are the steps that you need to follow. There needs to be more information about the nature of multi-let office buildings, either retail or office, in the UK. Because there is no up-to-date set of statistics on the size of the building stock. And in terms of the appropriate audit or independent review of service charge accounts, we need to get some understanding of the relative size of each service charge account in terms of the expenditure on each building and the accounting complexity on each building. Now, in terms of accounting complexity, the accounting complexity could be based upon the total expenditure on the building, or it could be based upon some specific aspect of the accounting in terms of, is there a reserve fund on that building, is there a sinking fund, is there a depreciation fund on that building. So if the building is more complex in an accounting sense, maybe there is a need for a full financial audit rather than a secondary level independent accountant's report. So there is a lack of understanding at the moment about the relative size of the building stock and the relative accounting complexity of each building in the UK.